top and drop it in the corner. It's something he does with marvellous precision. And in fact, it was Villa, and he very nearly pulled it off. Problems for goalkeepers when a team has as many dead ball specialists as Spurs have. Villa curling that one with the left foot. Clements was a cross, but it was a... Owen to Hansen. Hansen setting off on a run. Phil Neal covering for him in the middle. Ball comes loose to Alan Kennedy. Now Johnson. McDermott back to Johnson. Johnson's shot in. 1-0. Smiles for a goal that could hardly have seemed on. Ball comes out here to Alan Kennedy. There's some fine, sharp passing goes on here. Johnson, McDermott puts him back in with a lovely ball, but look how narrow the angle was and how precise the shot was. Defence moving out again, but Houghton had stayed back. And Daines has to head clear. McDermott will try and beat him. And Roberts rescues his side. There was the offside trap failing to work because one man stayed back and created problems of all kinds for the goalkeeper. Daines forced to head out. McDermott read the situation very quickly, beat the goalkeeper. Lee with the corner again. Souness hit Roberts. Archibald, Souness. Dalglish stood his ground and got clobbered by Roberts. Hoddle. It's come right through to Archibald. And it just went outside, or did it go in? It's gone in. I thought it had gone outside the post, but Archibald has equalised. Long one in, missed by Irwin. A lot of space here for Archibald, and it was deflected inside the post, 1-1. No doubt a little bit concerned about the possibility of Irwin or Neal coming in on a late run from the far side. Souness to Lee, who can drive them from there, and the goalkeeper couldn't hold it, but he could do enough to put Irwin off scoring. Tremendous whack there from Sammy Lee. This little man does pack a punch. Daines saw it coming, couldn't hold it. In came Irwin, and Daines spread himself to deflect the ball for the corner. Kennedy. And here's Johnson in. Just nicked away from him by Roberts, and it's a corner. Roberts. Souness, Ray Kennedy. Oh, he turned well on that! Minutes into the second half, and the big man turned with all the agility you could possibly wish for. Trap on the thigh, left foot, and Daines left stranded. That was a beauty. 2-1. Crooks. Two defenders to beat, support from Hoddle. Covering by Alan Kennedy. Ray Kennedy brings the ball away. Hoddle and Ardiles exchanging passes. Now Crooks. Hoddle again. Archibald. Ardiles. One of Tottenham's more promising attacking moves, broken up eventually by Alan Hansen for Tottenham's first corner of the game. Liverpool have had 11. And Perryman is onto it. It was deflected. The deflection took the pace off it. Steve Perryman. And Souness goes on to try to make something for Case, but Lacey clears it, and Souness is left on the edge of the penalty area, clutching his head. And now offside against Case again. Souness still down. This free kick, incidentally, the 20th for offside in the game. Roberts. Souness. Case chasing it down the line. Nicely weighted pass from Souness. And he takes the return from Case. Challenge from McAllister, but it's still Souness. McAllister and Lacey confusing each other. Johnson trying to set it up for Souness. He could still get it. McDermott couldn't get there. Houghton cleared. Now it's Lee. Neal. McAllister again. Ray Kennedy and over. Tottenham were not exactly in control there, but they were just doing enough to frustrate Liverpool. Second half hasn't been as good as the first, but really there's not ever looked much danger of Liverpool losing this game. Certainly not after the hour when Ray Kennedy scored. Villa. Archibald. Case. Roberts. Referee taking a check from his linesman. Ardiles. And there is the final whistle. Tottenham's long record of lack of success at Anfield goes on thanks to a decisive second.
Visitors from up the road, Tottenham Hotspur, led by Steve Perryman. And Upton Park is packed out. An all-ticket crowd of 36,000, which is producing record receipts of £85,000, with another £50,000, it's said, coming from closed-circuit television in a number of London cinemas. A genuine cup-tie atmosphere, with the second division leaders at home to their first division neighbours. And indeed, with men like Trevor Brooking in the midfield for West Ham, although he came close to missing the game today because of a stomach upset, and he's supported in that midfield by Alan Devonshire. And with Osvaldo Ardiles covering the same territory for Tottenham and supported by the likes of Glenn Hoddle, well, the skills should be at the highest level. And when you look at the West Ham side tonight, they're unchanged. You also have to reckon with the striking power of David Cross and Paul Goddard, who between them have scored 33 goals this season. And the West Ham sub is Jimmy Neighbour. One of his previous clubs was Tottenham. As for Spurs themselves, although they've lost their last two matches, they're not short of successful strikers either. Steve Archibald and Garth Crooks between them have scored 23 First Division goals this season. And elsewhere in the Spurs side, Terry Yorath returns. His name has been linked, of course, recently with Leeds and Cardiff, but he could have a great influence here tonight. It's his sort of match, and he replaces Paul Miller. The referee is John Hunting from Leicester. So as the cup tie roar gets underway, so does the game, with West Ham kicking off, attacking the goal to our right in claret and blue shirts, and West Ham with an amazing home record. They've not been beaten since the opening day of the season here, and they've had 13 successive victories here since then, and even by Liverpool standards, that really is some record. Spurs coming to this match having lost their last two and won only one of their last four away, but that was convincingly at Nottingham Forest. But of course, on a night like this, the past is forgotten, and it's this night and the possibility of a place in the semi-finals of the League Cup that really matters. A free kick there for Tottenham. Ricky Villa to take it. And it'll be Don McAllister. Archibald on the far side. Ardiles in there. Good leap there by Archibald, and Lampard just nodding it out to Devonshire there. Hoddle, and here's Brooking. Flick wide here now for Holland. Played in for Goddard. And Velia getting it back to Barry Daines. Crooks and Bonds underneath one. It's Bonds' header, and now it's Ardiles. Crooks looking for Velia. And West Ham struggling to keep him out a little bit there. Houghton now finding Yoreth, switching it wide to the far side now to Glenn Hoddle. Hoddle with a shot, and straight at Phil Parkes. Brooking, now Houghton. Shot there by Archibald. On Alvin Martin, another free kick to West Ham. Played here for Lampard, a bit of space. Both sides taking a little time to shake down into sort of momentum in this cup tie. Goddard now finding that's a bit better for West Ham. Brooking, and now Pike playing it wide here for Holland. And wide for the advancing Ray Stewart. He's gone past Garth Crooks, the cross in there, and Yoreth ducking in to get it away. Now Crooks again. A long ball forward. Archibald's after it. Has he got the legs of Martin here? No, Martin challenging well. A 1 against 1, and Alvin Martin coming out on top there for West Ham. Stewart floating it in for cross. A nod down here for Holland. Through the legs of Houghton. Finding Goddard. Stewart's header again, Ardiles. Now Hoddle, a lot of space ahead of him now, and also Archibald and Crooks are ahead of him. Still with Hoddle. Left foot shot, down goes Parkes again, holding on to it. Well that he did, because Archibald was coming in fast. Brooking touch. Cross. Houghton and Holland battling away there. And Holland getting a free kick against Chris Houghton. And Houghton in a bit of trouble there. I noticed that Cross was diving in there, and Pat Holland, yes, it's going to be a yellow card for Chris Houghton. And in fact, I think Pat Holland did David Cross a turn there as well, because I think David Cross wanted to say a word or two, and Holland acted as the peacemaker. This was the challenge that led to the yellow card. Houghton clearly pulling him back and then clearly fouling him. So a free kick to West Ham. Brooking will take it. Bonds is right in there again. Deep is Alvin Martin. It's Martin's header, and Daines' catch under pressure from Goddard. Free kick, in fact. Well, Spurs were claiming that Archibald was shoved in the back, but you have to say the referee was at the perfect angle to see that one. He was absolutely in line. I fancy the linesman may have flagged, but it's the referee's word, of course. The ball with Phil Parkes now. Good jump by Lacey again. Archibald for John Lacey. Hoddle. Ardiles beautifully striding over that challenge from Pike. Archibald. Played in for Ardiles. Good challenging, successful defending by Billy Bonds, but here's Velia now for Tottenham, and space here for Houghton. Charged down by Devonshire. Now with Yoreth again. Played here for Hull. Good little spell of pressure this by Tottenham. Played inside for Perryman there, getting almost inside the fullback. In fact, it was Cross who'd gone right back down there. Perryman furious, he felt that Spurs should have had a corner, but it came off David Cross. But the referee said no goal kick. With a header. Yorth playing it in here for Ardiles. Yorth again, coming right to half-time, and indeed there is the half-time whistle with a lot of good attacking intentions in this full-throated cup tie, but as yet no goals. Tonight, and on Midweek Sports Special, we also have top gymnastics and some knockout boxing for you. The half-time score here at Upton Park in this quarter-final of the Football League Cup is West Ham United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, and we'll be back with the second half. Welcome back then as Spurs get us away at the start of the second half. They now in the white shirts attacking the goal to our right. Indeed, it's curious that Spurs have not been out of London in the League Cup so far this season. They've beaten Orient, Crystal Palace and Arsenal to get this far. And West Ham, until tonight, have not played a First Division side in the Cup this season. Burnley, Charlton and Barnsley they've beaten. There's no doubt at all about it that Steve Perryman, playing more as a right back in the first half, was making things difficult for Devonshire and Brooking, who do so much of their good work down the left. Although I've noticed right at the start of this second half, Perryman looks as though he's in a much more central position in the defence. It's a free kick for Tottenham, which McAllister will take. Well, Perryman coming back across to this right back position. And that's been a telling tactical factor, there's no doubt about that. Hoddle now. Crooks knocked down for Archibald. Now Ardiles for Tottenham. And his shot charged down by Pike, but there's Archibald getting in there and a cross coming in. Velia touching it in there for Hoddle, and both Pike and Martin close quickly enough to prevent the shot going in, and it's Holland now for West Ham. Tottenham's throw. This for a place in the semi-finals of the Football League Cup, remember. And it's with John Lacey. Dorothy. Archibald, a nice touch here for Glenn Hoddle. And again, Martin getting in there, but only as far as Archibald again for Tottenham, and Crooks is in there. Back for Archibald, a shot straight off the chest of Phil Parks. And he grabbed it at the second goal. Really good shot there. Crooks just laying it back there for Archibald. Hit straight at Parks. Yorth. Perryman for Hoddle. And a corner. So a corner for Tottenham. And Hoddle with it. Well, struck one again. McAllister had come right in there, as he does so often, coming in late, but West Ham got that one away. It was Cross who eventually whacked it into the crowd. So it's Velia again with a throw. Archibald. Velia. Ardiles. Bobble beat him there, but Archibald curls it in. Martin again with a header for West Ham. Perryman casually playing that for Houghton, and Houghton was suddenly surrounded by claret and blue and decided that was the way out. Perrin again. Huddle. Crooks. Come maybe for Brooking. It'll come maybe for Goddard. And suddenly West Ham have got a few forward. Devonshire's made a good break here for West Ham. He went just a little wider than he would have wanted. A little touch there for Brooking, and the cross by him. And was it a handball? Well, there were strong claims by West Ham for a handball there in the 6-yard area. Well, it was nodded down there, and I must say it looked very much like a handball by Houghton, but the referee decided otherwise, and here's Ardiles. I must say that's going to be a controversial moment in this game, and from that slow motion there it looked a handball, but here's Goddard, and Daines is right out of his goal. Played in there towards Brooking. Oh! And Houghton knocked that one off the line. Great play in here. Terrific shot by Brooking. A marvellous save by Chris Houghton. And now Lampard lining one up there. Billy Bonds is right in there. That was Holland's header, though. Well, that was a lucky break for Tottenham. Daines was beaten by Brooking's shot, and Houghton did miraculously on that line. Long kick. Brooking trying to get that ball from Goddard. Here's Devonshire, and Perryman doing that job well in stopping Devonshire's run down the left. West Ham's throw. Brooking again. Surrounded there by Hoddle and by Perryman, and really being harassed by them. Devonshire going in there, but the Spurs men get it away well. It's Hoddle now for Tottenham. The ball played forward for Crooks to chase, and Alvin Martin with the big boot getting it back to Phil Parks. Again, that long ball being played forward suddenly by West Ham, and a couple of times it looked as though it might get them in. On that occasion, Houghton made sure that it didn't. But West Ham get the throw. Goddard. Crossed in there, no trouble for Daines. Bonds going there for that one. Bit of play here again by Stewart, and cross, surely offside he is. Stewart towards Goddard. That'll fall for cross. A little touch here for Brooking, and now Devonshire taking it up again. Pike slipped wide here for Lampard. To Stewart. Touch there for Devonshire. Back again for Martin. Brooking's little header in there, and Lacey doing a good job at the back that time for Tottenham with the cross poised behind him. But West Ham get a corner. Bonds. Corner, Billy Bonds. Battering ram in there with a header, but chance maybe for a break for Tottenham. Velia on the ball for them. Ardiles. Crooks is making a run through the centre, but West Ham are getting people back. Velia, Ardiles. Velia this time to Hoddle. Played there for Archibald. And it's Devonshire. Running with the ball. Finding Brooking. Chance to run with the ball again. But plays it wide on this side now for Frank Lampard. West Ham having a good inventive spell at the moment. Here's Brooking. Played there to Goddard, but the return pass wasn't what Brooking wanted, but he still made something of it. Stewart rifling one in there! Tremendous save by Danes. Well, what was that? 30 yards from fullback Ray Stewart. What a tremendous shot it was. Almost out of nothing. West Ham very nearly got a spectacular goal, but for an equally spectacular piece of keeping by Barry Danes. So West Ham get a corner. Brooking will take it. And certainly the escapes have been at this end in the second half. Brooking again with a corner. Still haven't got it away. Archibald with a chance, but here's Stewart again now for West Ham. Played wide there, he hoped towards Brooking, but cut out superbly by Hoddle. Well, that one's cut out by Stewart. Swept wide this time for Billy Bonds. Holland is up there with him as well. Goddard. Little touch back here for Devonshire. This time it's Lampard being brought more and more into the play down this left flank. It's Brooking. The cross in a bit earlier this time. They're all going in there. Billy Bonds, and a good save again by Danes. And in fact, the whistle had gone. All credit to Danes, though. It was a terrific piece of keeping once again. And you'll notice it was a safe catch at the end of it. Bonds going in with that header there. Danes with the catch. And we get to the point where both sides will wind themselves up for a really big finish. And here's Brooking. And Holland. And West Ham still can't get to it. Cross. Yes! Cross has put it in! Brooking put through there. Danes seem to have saved it there. Spurs seem to have saved it there. It seemed to be going too wide for Cross. What a chip. And even Perryman couldn't stop it from going in. And West Ham go into the lead with about 9 minutes to go. David Cross, goal 21 of the season for him, and who knows what a precious one it might be now for West Ham. The second division leaders leading their first division neighbours by a goal to nil, and really on their second half performance just about deserving it. Now can Spurs hit them, or can West Ham keep this resolve and concentration going for another 9 minutes? Again, that long clearance from Phil Parks. Brooking, played wide, what a good ball there. Holland. Stewart's up there as well. And you're stopping that one for Tottenham. And here's Lampard. Brooking, they've got plenty forward, and Brooking just trying to lift that over the head of the defence. Velia belting that out here for Archibald to chase. Battling away with Alvin Martin, and a throw to Tottenham. Brooks, that's going to be a West Ham throw. Goddard, here's Pike, a lot of space over on that far side, filled by Stewart and by Holland. It's Pat Holland. Back heel there for Stewart. That's Yorath's ball. Just look at those West Ham fans there. They know that if they can hold out, or their team can rather, for another 7 minutes or so, they've got a place in the semi-finals. Goddard trying to get a 1-2 going. Here's Jeff Pike, who's hit some pretty spectacular goals this season, but not that time. Villa now for Tottenham as they break back. It's with Ardiles. Crooks and Archibald are up. Played here for Archibald. Now played for Villa. Stewart going across to do a covering job. Played here again for Ardiles. Villa now. And the shot by Houghton, saved down there by Phil Fox. Well, Houghton's had a really active game. He's been booked, he's headed off the line, and he had that shot there. And Yvonne's cutting it out again for West Ham. And going all the way. His sights set first of all on the corner flag, I fancy, to take up a few more seconds, and then to look around and see what's on. And down to the corner flag it goes. And West Ham get the throw. We're now playing time added on. Brooking. So it's a matter of seconds now. And West Ham are almost there. It's another throw. Spurs are almost out. John Hunting, the referee, is looking at his watch. That David Cross goal looks as though it might be the one, and it is! The whistle has gone, and West Ham have done it. The goal by Cross, so close to the end. A real full-blooded cup tie, where Spurs came and attacked so hard in the first half, but had nothing to show for it, and West Ham did so much of the attacking in the second, and then came that vital breakthrough by David Cross, and West Ham, with their resolution and their confidence and their concentration holding out, to keep Tottenham at bay. And it's Ardiles. Played on again for his fellow countryman. And a little flick wide and a good one there for Perryman, who'd come forward quickly for Tottenham. Outside him is Roberts. Here's Ricky Villa again. Played there. Oh! And Archibald! Well, if there are any doubts about Archibald's fitness before the game, there was none in terms of his quick thinking and getting in there to put Spurs in the lead. Perryman playing the ball in there to Villa, who did well here, and so too did Ardiles, number 7, with that shot there, well saved in fact by Corrigan at full length. Before he could get to it, Archibald was in there, and Spurs were in the lead, 1-0. Hutchison just kept in play expertly. The crowd gave him applause for that, which it certainly deserved. There's Gow again, a really competitive midfielder. Now Mackenzie, we very nearly found Boyer with that one. Here's Gow again, and City have got a lot of people forward. Boyer! 1-1. His first goal for his new club, and so typical of the man. And the man who bought him, John Bond, I would have thought, well, that's repaid something. And it was a really beautiful header. Jerry Gow, who's done so much in the midfield for Manchester City since he joined them from Bristol City, and a really good, powerful header by Boyer, and that's 1-1. And here's Hoddle again. And he's done it again! Well, the game that he'd had so far had not really, by his standards, been all that impressive. But my word, he hit that one. It deflected off the line into the roof of the net, but it's Glenn Hoddle's goal. Getting the right sort of angle there, just flicking off the defender, Bobby MacDonald. But it's 2-1 to Tottenham. Hoddle again. suddenly sprung to life with that goal, and then with a shot that wasn't far off the mark and hit with great power. Archibald playing it into him there. Economy of effort, but a great deal of power. Going in there, it was Archibald who got it away, not very far though. Hoddle nicking it on, and now a chance. There are two up. Vigna is supported by Crooks on this side. Vigna going all the way, no Crooks. The linesman's flagging, and it's offside. Surprise on the face of Garth Crooks, and there couldn't have been much in it. The linesman was right up there. And yes, it looks very much as though the linesman was 100% right. An obstruction there on Tommy Hutchison, another free kick from Manchester City. But there's not time to take it. And Spurs, with that goal from Glenn Hoddle 15 minutes from the end, get what could be a very valuable victory and put an end to a run of 4 successive defeats. With Archibald having scored for Spurs in the first half, Phil Boyer equalising for Manchester City, Glenn Hoddle getting the winner, Keith Birkinshaw goes off with a good deal of relief, and a final score here at White Hart Lane is Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester City 1.
Passing so effective throughout the game produced a polished opening goal for Garth Crooks after 9 minutes. 3 minutes before half-time, Ipswich climbed level. Paul Mariner heading in Arnold Muren's free kick. Ipswich then reacted angrily at referee John Martin's decision to give Tottenham a free kick for Eric Gates' tackle on Steve Archibald. Protests even more animated perhaps because of their awareness of the threat of Glenn Hoddle from such position. And Hoddle duly stepped up to place his free kick past the wall and past Paul Cooper. A wintry night, and the conditions played a part in Ipswich's second equaliser. Gates' cross curling past the despairing Barry Dames. And it was Steve Perryman knocking the ball into the Ipswich penalty area, and as the attack continued, Perryman sliding in to put Tottenham back in front 3-2. Ipswich responded yet again, another cross from Muren, and Mariner showing his power on the far post. That really should have set the game up for a tremendous climax, but 14 minutes from time, the evening was somewhat soured when Gates was sent off after an incident with Tottenham's Graham Roberts. Tottenham took full advantage. Steve Archibald here capitalising on Cooper's fumble to make it 4-3. And in the very last minute, Tottenham worked this free kick for Osvaldo Ardiles to emphasise their victory with a 5th goal.
11 goals in 3 matches, and it's without Chris Hughton and Don McAllister. They've scored a lot of goals, of course, particularly Steve Archibald and Garth Crooks. But Gary Brooke, another Essex player from Walthamstow, in his first full game yesterday, scored twice, and there aren't many better debuts than that. So the referee here is Brian Martin from Keyworth Notts. The pitch earlier in the day was covered in sheet ice. Now it's in pretty well perfect condition, and it's Spurs in the darker shorts to kick off. Well, no First Division club has scored more goals than Spurs, but only Crystal Palace and Norwich have conceded more, so the chances of getting goals must be pretty good, as Hoadley gets that one away. Spurs, of course, halfway in the table. Their record has really been black and white in more ways than one. Norwich City hovering on the brink of trouble. Crooks gives a return pass, but that's offside against Gary Brooke. He was in Sweden for most of the spring and later part of the summer. Come back with a good deal more experience. Had one part substitute game before this one, but a marvellous start for him yesterday. Here's Maguire, 2 downs. Fashanu to chase this one. It's a difficult one. It wasn't terribly well hit. Fashanu's done well. Got Goebel on the line, but there's not a lot of room, and it goes up. Hoddle, nice control. Bond cuts up. There's Yorath. Mendham forward, Goebel in there trying to squeeze Lacey. Free kick given. Well, nice to see the holiday atmosphere here and people still coming into what looks like a very full ground. Bond and Padden on the ball. Just getting Brook the required 10 yards away. Fashanu and Royal poised there. Royal on the way forward. Up he goes. That was good stuff. Beautifully sharp there. Bond puts the ball into space. Royal's coming in fast for the flick. Tremendous leap and just wide. In goes Bond with Archibald. Fashanu here. He's looking more impressive here as he goes against Perryman. Hooked away, only to Maguire though. In comes Brook. Did well to get it wide with a man challenging him. Space here for Mendham to get a decent cross in. In goes Fashanu. It was Lacey over the top. Really putting the pressure on Alexa here. Players coming back into their own penalty area. Goebel's kick. Royal on the near post. Royal flicks it back. There's a foul and a free kick. It's got to be within inside the area, surely. On the edge of it anyhow. Goes Downs, beats Hoddlewell. Fashanu. Too strong for Maguire. And Brook forward to Archibald. There's a great chance here for Spurs. Superbly taken. No chance at all for him. Steve Archibald shows his skill, but how well young Gary Brook fed him with that pass. And he left Baker with absolutely a hopeless task. 1-0. Well, that was a mistake, first of all, from Fashanu that put Spurs in possession to Archibald, and it's his 17th goal. So now, the promise of goals, which was at the other end, Spurs have put one in, and there was a chance of scoring more, with players like Archibald and Cook looking very sharp, and Brook too. This is Villa with McDowell and Maguire. McDowell on that right-hand side. McDowell with Mendham now supporting. Offside. Well, that's a real blow to Norwich City. Hoadley, Yorath and Hoddle. There goes Perryman on the right. Crooks is down the middle, so is Archibald. Goebel covering well. Can't get it back to the goalkeeper. That's covered, and Perryman wins by strength and sheer perseverance. And Brook just knocking one over the top. Struggling there a bit, I think, Clive Baker. Well, Perryman did a great job to get that ball to Gary Brook. Snapshot, tried for the chip, and so very nearly successful. Well, won by Villa. Yorath, Brook, Archibald on the left, Brook going forward, finding Crooks, a shot, and wide, hitting the policeman instead of the target. But once he jinks onto the left foot, it's dangerous. Brook is very positive and direct. Crooks looks as if he's got a reasonable target here, but off balance as he strikes it, and it's the policeman who gets it. In for Mendham, bit of room here. Free kick given against Villa, I think. Or Yorath for the use of elbows, but Yorath doing the organising of the wall. Padden and Bond on the ball at the moment, with, on the right-hand side, beyond the wall, Royal and Fashanu. Padden a chip. Here comes Fashanu. Ooh, gracious, no. Well, you can smile about that, but certainly a free kick. And remember Joe Royle. Exactly the sort of challenge which Alexic had to withstand as he goes for the ball here 11 months ago when Royle challenged and broke his jaw and damaged his knee. Mendham wins it, but McDowell was coming behind him and might have been in a better position to get it. Spurs now. It's only been a little bit bolstered in midfield by that Steve Archibald goal. Here's Crooks. And Archibald wanted it to him rather than over his head. There's Yorath, who's picking up a lot of these balls in midfield. Royle nicely down for Graham Padden. Bit of room here. The goalkeeper had it covered. Difficult one to hit, although it fell on his favoured foot. It's going away from the goal, and indeed I think so is the shot all the time. Offside. Flag is up over the other side of the field now. Fashanu is up there beating O'Reilly. Bond stabs it forward. O'Reilly wins. Now Padden, players have got to keep themselves onside and spread wide. There's Royle on the left. In for Fashanu. Must have a chance here. He took that well. That seemed to have run away from him before the long legs turned and hooked it in. Knocked in to a group of players, coming forward fast, then it seems to spray away from him, but a quick turn and in off the bar. So Norwich City are alive again, and so is Justin Fashanu. His 16th of the season, and a reply just at the right time. Gobel on, Fashanu looping. Royle looking for support, didn't turn so elegantly there, and Yorath gets it forward. Up goes McDowell, and it's Norwich City looking better in midfield now. Downs over with Gobel on his left here. Hubble coming back to help here, and move it. It's into Padden, just couldn't control it. That was a nice one though. Dashing forward through midfield. Going at pace here, Graham Padden, such a difficult ball to control, and didn't quite manage it. He was through though. And it's Royle who slips, although the flag had gone up for offside, and it's been restarted anyhow. Archibald. There goes Roberts down the left-hand side, and Mendham's seen it. Giving the ball away quite a bit, Spurs at the moment, and Mendham's gone forward, offside. When they were battling hard to stay on, and Fashanu's still going, but it won't count. Just a minute, the flag is still up, the linesman over here. No, the referee wouldn't have given it. The Spurs players pointing towards Jim Borrett, the linesman. They say if you made a decision, stick to it. But that one would have counted. Fashanu battling here with Archibald. And it was Alexic who pulled a decent save out. Tips it over. I thought it wouldn't have counted. The linesman was still flagging at this stage. Up goes Villa. Brooks can't get hold of that one. Baker had alarming moments early on, but it's been quiet for him in the last 15 minutes. Royle and Lacey challenging there, and Lacey is penalised once more. against Joe Royle as Padden chips one forward for John McDowell out there. Straight in for Fashanu. Knocked away well by O'Reilly. McDowell again, that's a good cross. And Royle hit the post. What a beautiful bit of play. Two superb quality bits of play there by McDowell getting across this position, and Royle with that powerful flick there. And really, Alexei didn't know a thing. Was liable to concede them. They've scored 47 this season. Only Southend can equal that, but of course they've played a couple more games. Here's Hoddle, getting away from that tackle well. In for Brook. Hoddle now, chipping one. Oh, gracious me. That was superb. Well, that was floated in. You could see the target, and he hit it with tremendous efficiency. Evading that tackle, he comes in, he's looking perhaps for a shot then for Brook. Now, Brook can't do much, so he just knocks it back. And a quick assessment, he hits it, and it's wide and dipping and in. Tremendous goal by Glenn Hoddle. International quality finishing that. Maguire straight back to McDowell. Norwich might be through here. The offside trap didn't work. Fashanu driving. Mendham blocked. And in the end, nothing. He did well in the end. But Spurs trying an offside trap that failed, and it's been called out once or twice in the game. In goes Bond. Fashanu, that wasn't a good pass either. Making a half of Villa though. He does a good job to find Roberts. Hoddle and Perryman. Archibald down the right. Getting away from his man comfortably enough, and that's a good run. Archibald pursued by Bond. In for Villa. Mendham surely balking him. Well, he's a strong fellow, but Mendham wouldn't let him go by. Spurs looking pretty impressive on that break. Villa with the corner. Lacey is up there. Crooks and Archibald obviously with Brook. Lacey got it. Archibald and Hoddle again. Not quite so lucky that time. Maguire looking for one to go forward to Goebel. Out comes Alexei. Well, it wasn't so much brave goalkeeping as brave forward play to rush in on that flying foot. But goalkeeper did a good job. And it's an up and under again. Lacey finds Roberts. And Yorath. Oh, well won by Maguire. Over for Fashanu. And O'Reilly is there to knock it aside for Hoddle. And that's a giveaway from Hoddle. That's not England quality this time. Fashanu. O'Reilly thumps it away. Went straight to Archibald. There's Crooks up. And Villa alongside him. Strength from Villa got him through there. In for Hoddle once more. Padden challenging. And Brook. Oh, that's a cracking shot. Well, Brook has no first division experience to call on. Yorath the rebound. And cut out by Mendham. Roberts stayed there for 1 minute. Didn't done it too long. And now it's Goebel cutting in for a drive. Oh, and at the second attempt, Alexei holds it. A smile of relief. Dismay for Steve Goebel. Driving run by Mendham. Engages a defender, then slips it to Goebel. He pushes on into the danger area. The angle disappearing all the time. But he needed two grabs at that. Meanwhile, a substitution. Three players go to the touchline to find out who's going off, but it's Villa to go off, and it's Paul Miller, a defender, to come on. Woods, is he ready now? Fashanu losing control there, but it's Goebel on the break here, driving it. Well, nearly fooled Alexic there, who was expecting the shot across the face of the goal. But did that get a deflection? Goebel going for one, and deflected, I think, by the foot of a defender away from Alexic, so a corner. Meanwhile, the play held up for the substitution of Downs to come on, Woods to come on. Hoadley can't get there, and Alexic nearly didn't get that. Bond whistles right over the top. Very close there. And Alexic seems to be hurt. That seemed to be pure accidental stuff. The corner comes over, up goes Perryman with the goalkeeper. Then, as it's cleared, Perryman's coming back, and it's a clash of chin and the back of the head before the goalkeeper, in fact, doesn't go straight down. He stays on his feet until Bond shoots over the bar. But is that the chin or is it the knee? No, that's knee trouble. And of course, a tragedy for Alexic is 11 months ago, playing in the third round of the Cup, that he clashed with Joe Jordan. He had jaw and knee injuries then. It took so long for him to get back into the game. He came back in the match a couple of games ago, conceded goals at Middlesbrough, 4 of them, and I'm afraid is in trouble here. What a sad moment for Milja Alexic. And Hoddle, who has been called on in these situations before, and indeed in the cup tie at Old Trafford, he replaced Alexic in goal, did a superb job, and they won that game. Here comes Baker unchallenged. 15 minutes left. Maguire getting it forward, but can Goebel get that one? Yes, he's done well against Roberts. Still to beat him yet. He's done that too. And Fashanu here. Royal. Oh, brilliant save. Oh, he pulled that out with real aplomb. In for Royal here. Quick turn as it came back off Fashanu. And look at this for a good piece of handling. But now it's Norwich City pushing forward again. In for Maguire. 2 players free here. McDowell with a lot of room. Goebel is on the right-hand flank if he's required. Into the middle, but a bad one. Goebel, no room at all. McDowell chip for Fashanu. Did well there, the protective from O'Reilly. And doesn't fall to anybody, so Fashanu again. Fashanu still coming, down he goes, penalty! Referee didn't hesitate long there. Fashanu battling his way through, turning past Lacey, in comes Perryman, but he's already down, and it's Lacey's challenge that brought him down, not Perryman's. Lacey disputing it a little bit still, along with 1 or 2 other Spurs players. Perryman, I think, making the point that the challenge was made outside the area and he tumbled inside, and it wasn't Perryman who brought him down, but it won't make any difference here. It's going to be a penalty. It's going to be Hoddle with a real test here. Scored 1 already. They're leading 2-1. He's performed miracles here, but Bond has a marvellous reputation from the penalty spot. The Norwich City captain. It's in, but Hoddle guessed right and came very close, I suspect, to getting it. 2-2 though. Well, how close was it? Decisively hit, he's going nearly there, but near isn't near enough, and that's 2-2. So Bond back in business. Decisively taken penalty has given Norwich City 8 minutes left, playing against 10 men, to pick up more and both points. Roberts still runs and wins a corner. So it's Spurs with 10 men only pushing forward in the closing minutes, with the courage to push up Lacey. Anxious moments then for both sides. 2-2 at the moment as the corner is driven in. Still Spurs in possession. Up goes Crooks. Maguire can't get it away. Archibald turning. Now Royal thumping it. Archibald is still there, and still it's Spurs in possession. Lacey. Perryman and Brook. Brook still going. And fortuitous one to John Lacey. In for Archibald. And now Brook. And it's falling to Crooks on the left foot. Great save. Wonderful stuff here. Still Spurs pushing forward with only 10 men, but plenty of heart. Well, Spurs seem to have Norwich City on the wobble there, as the ball comes over from the right-hand side from Lacey. There's 2 or 3 players lining up for a shot here. Comes out eventually to Crooks. Brilliant save. Time added on now. Mendham gets it, but it's only to Crooks, and it's flicked on to Brook. Down he comes, a free kick to Spurs. They'll push players forward again. It could be their last chance. Lacey getting himself onto the edge of the area with Joe Royal. Yoreth supporting him behind. And Perryman's kick. Up goes Lacey. Gets in. Here's Archibald. Blocked by the feet of Baker at the deck. Lacey did a good job there. Still not over yet, though. Another push. McDowell away. Perryman a knock into Brook, but it's Mendham. Can he get one forward? Because there can't be any time now. We're going to test Hoddle once more. And Lacey should have this one. He didn't really want to push it back to the goalkeeper. But at the other end, there was certainly real danger as Perryman pumped that free kick in. Lacey did a superb job here, getting up, and Archibald's on his way. It needed a touch, but the foot of Baker just stops Spurs getting the win. And indeed, there is the whistle for the end of a very, very momentous game. Early in the second half, it was Glenn Hoddle who put Spurs back in the lead. Then, of course, he was pulled back into goal because of the injury to Alexic, but finally beaten by the penalty of Bond. But even after that, there could have been more goals. So, a result, I suppose, which both sides would have hoped for more. 1 point each.
Spurs in the white shirts took control when Brooks' cross was met by Crooks. A measure of Spurs' first-half supremacy was this penetrating pass from Hoddle to Galvin, who was playing his first full game of the season. The 1-2 with Crooks, and top-class finishing that puts his side 2-0 ahead. Tony Curry, another man in form, inspired Rangers for a brief while in the second half. McCreary with a hopeful shot that Danes fails to clear properly. And Curry is on hand with a cross that's perfect for Stainrod. The goal revived Rangers' chances until Archibald, Spurs' top scorer of the season so far, laid on the goal for Glenn Hoddle that gives Spurs a fourth-round tie against Hull. Ian Edwards, ITN Sport.
This is Brook. And Hoddle and Archibald. Yes! And that's the first time that Pat Jennings has been beaten as an Arsenal goalkeeper playing against Tottenham. But it really was a delightful ball from Hoddle that found Steve Archibald. Brook who started it, Hoddle on the right, the deftest of crosses,
and Archibald making it count with a fine crack. 5 to run in. One of them is Archibald. They all left it, and in fact it was McAllister at the back, but straight into the body of Pat Jennings. But defenders then turned to look to see where it had gone and who was coming in. Arsenal lucky to survive. Yard. Nodded down for Archibald. Well, he was leaning back a bit after he got the nod down from Miller. The result was that the ball went up. He got to balance himself and find Stapleton. McDermott up as well. And there's Gatting blocked on the line, and Europe managed to push it away. Good play by Frank Stapleton. He held it up, pulled it back. It was Gatting who had a stab. 2 players on the line with their backs to the ball, and the ball came off one of them. Once again, Arsenal with 5 players in the 6-yard box. Hoddle who got it away. Ricks' curler. Stapleton, fine save! Really a brilliant save that was by Barry Daines. That would have done credit to the man at the other end, because Stapleton met that with full meat, knocked it down, and Daines held it with his right hand. Crooks down the middle, Archibald out to the right. It's got to be Archibald, and he's offside. It will not count. Kenny Sanson, who came back, made a despairing effort, not knowing the whistle had already gone. It looked the right ball, but Archibald had judged to have gone just too soon. Hoddle finds Jareth, and a miss kick by Devine, and Archibald gets a second. So it means that Tottenham have reversed completely the scoreline at Highbury in August. Devine just not making the touchback, and Archibald, who got a really good goal in the first half, gets a gift right at the end of the second. And just listen to the cheers. It matters almost as much as winning the cup. Archibald, the man who got the goals, his 18th and 19th of the season.
Playing Tottenham Hotspurs attacking the left-hand goal through Garth Crooks looked like destroying 3rd Division Hull. Ozzy Ardiles in his return match played some good passes like this one to Glenn Hoddle. Hoddle's pass to Crooks was perfect, but how did Tony Norman save that header? Hull were under pressure but nearly surprised the 1st Division side with some good breaks. The long ball from Brian Marwood, and striker Keith Edwards was unlucky not to score with a neat lob. The first half ended with Spurs in total control, but surprisingly no score, especially after superb football from young Crooks. In the second half, Spurs again dominated, but Hull must have been expected to draw by the time substitute Gary Brooke put the home side ahead with only 7 minutes remaining. The goal was a welcome relief, and Tottenham confirmed their superiority 2 minutes from the end. The scorer was Steve Archibald. Spurs 2, Hull 0.